What's up, Desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding. We are back for another episode of Bodybuilding University. Today, I am joined by Beef Stew, Stuart Sutherland, IFBB Pro, Sergio Oliva Jr., IFBB Pro, and Baidi Xavier from Baidi Xavier's YouTube channel.
Not
and,
IFBB Pro.
Not IFBB Pro yet. Not yet.
You got to preface that, yeah.
No.
Not IFBB.
Sorry, I should have left that out when I'm like introducing three people, and I'm like, that's rough. I'm obviously not far from IFBB Pro. But Sergio, it's been a minute.
He did it on purpose.
Yeah, he wanted to put it
out.
Fuck
Baidi. Sergio, what's happening, man? How have you been out there in Spain?
Yeah, man, it's good out here. It's cool. I would say it's kind of like when I was in Australia a little bit.
What, in lockdown?
Well, remember, I was there before they got crazy. I was able to be there when it was like the best.
Yeah.
They were still trying to figure out what they were going to do. And I was in Queensland. I was not in Melbourne.
Yeah, it actually looked like you were living it up on your stories and everything. I'm like, man, Sergio's got it all right now. Like, it seems pretty good. But obviously out there in Spain now, man, training with Dorian, how's that experience been? Because it's sort of like iconic when looking at it from the outside and seeing those training videos and stuff. I'm like, that's some cool shit.
Yeah, no, it's really cool too. And if like people, follow the sport before Nick Walker, they would know that there was a guy who invented this training called Arthur Jones, who passed it down to Mike Menser, which is another bodybuilder you wouldn't know if you didn't follow the sport in the last 5 years. And that guy taught it to a guy named Dorian Yates, who also is now training me, but my dad trained with Arthur Jones. So it's kind of like a cool full circle thing that I'm kind of learning the training that my dad did with Arthur Jones, which Dorian learned with Menser.
Yeah, because your dad never really encouraged you to get into bodybuilding. So it's sort of like you're getting it secondhand from the same sort of training that your dad did. So it's a cool sort of roundabout way. And obviously training under a 6-time Mr. Olympia. Your dad was obviously a Mr. Olympia. It's pretty cool how that's all sort of worked out, and you've been presented awards on stage by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. And I think like even looking back on this in however many years, it's going to be like a pretty cool story that we look back on and be like, oh yeah, Sergio's held up on the Mr. Olympia stage. Like, there's so much legacy and different things there that it's cool, man. But I saw a question already when I put out the questions and people are asking, and I knew this was going to be the first question: when's Sergio competing next? Is he prepping? All that sort of stuff. So, man, I'm just going to ask you straight off the bat and just interrogate you straight away.
Well, I told a buddy that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down to the 212 class, because then I'll finally be able to be a 212 bodybuilder. So I'm probably just going to drop down classes. Since Tonio's like a little bit bigger of a 212. Clarita beat me. Flanagan is almost 212. He beat me, and this little beef stew piece of shit almost beat me too.
Beef soup.
So that would have been like
doing a bunch of bodybuilding math here.
Right. So either way, the real answer is I don't know when I'm ready.
Yeah, fair, man. Yeah, cool. What's happening, beef stew? Beef soup? Fish stew?
Beef soup. Yeah, I guess it's beef soup now with a little bit of a. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up to Sergio on the tan. I don't think I'm going to catch Baidi, but
not quite.
That's a reach goal, but shit, what are we like? I'm like 8.5 weeks or 7.5 weeks out now from New York, so I'm still feeling pretty good, enough to do podcasts and not make an ass out of myself. So here we are.
You seem happy today.
Yeah, I've been a little grouchy the last couple of weeks. I'm trying to check myself. I apologize.
It's funny, you notice it on podcasts as people prep for shows. If a few guys are prepping for the same show, you notice the complete demeanor, the topics of conversation, everything changes like as it goes on.
Yeah, man, dude, it's because on ours, on the Fit Nation one, like Baidi's gonna start prep when for the USA is like
in 2 weeks. Yeah,
couple weeks here. Yeah, and you know, me and Joe and Paul are all doing the California, so we're all going to be like end of a prep. Right around like mid-May, that podcast is going to suck. Like
Yeah,
we're just going to
for
be
sure.
mad the whole time. But
I
we're
mean,
going to string along
the
as long as
last
we can.
the last episode, like I feel like the last couple of episodes, we keep arguing, bro. It's
Yeah,
like we keep
it's
having
you,
these
it's you and
arguments.
Ken. Like you guys aren't even dieting yet. I don't know what the deal is.
You just have slightly varying views on a
Uh,
couple of things, and then you just go at it, and you're like so close, like you're so close to agreeing.
but then
It's
it keeps
frustrating,
going back and back around.
frustrating to
Yeah,
watch.
it is. Hmm.
Got that new setup,
Yeah.
Sergio.
Yeah, I was tired of the glitching. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice in there. Spanish clock. Actually, that's like Roman numerals. I don't know, but Baidi, what's happening, man? What's going on with you? What's going on with the podcast? Obviously, starting prep soon.
Yeah, no, it's been going well, but like we just said, Stu is in prep, Joe is in prep, Paul is in prep. So everybody's getting a little irritable. And I'm not in prep, I'm just irritable. I don't know why. I'm just getting irritable. so it's a lot of arguing and debating. But the cool part is like we never take it personal. Like right after we turn it off, we're like, oh damn, I don't know why we get so into it and shit, but it happens every time now. So it's only gonna get worse. When I get deep into prep, man, I kind of become like a dick a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna try my best to stay positive.
I think it's all gonna ride on Ken, dude. He's the best among us. He's gonna
I
need
think
to be the
so.
moderator.
Somebody has to be.
I love it, man. But Stu, obviously, like a bunch of shows coming up, man. There's this show coming up this weekend. Tonio, guy who you've competed against in the past, obviously, he's going into
Mhm.
that Arnold Brazil show. Also another interesting thing as well. I don't know if you guys saw Nick Walker. He's saying that he wants to at some point do all the Arnolds, and he says he's doing it next year as well. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys saw that on Mutant of the Mouth.
I didn't know.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Cool.
no.
so that's good. Yeah, so
I
that's
thought
obviously good news. Sorry.
I thought he wasn't gonna do Arnold until he won Olympia. Did he say that on our podcast? I thought he said that, or maybe not.
Not on ours. No, he said on the mutant in the mouth one.
No, no, he just had issues. He had issues with his passport, and now that he's got his passport, that's what he was saying. Is now that he's got his passport, he wants to do all the Arnolds.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, he didn't have a passport for a long time. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. Okay, good. That makes sense.
Because Guy actually didn't even know when they were recording the last podcast. He said, oh, but you won't, I think he even said you won't do the Arnold until you win an Olympia, right? And he goes, 500K says otherwise. So I liked that. And then he said at some point I want to do all the Arnolds. So I like how Nick doesn't even hide. Like, look, the 500K makes a difference because it's pretty big money. And I just saw today actually Tyler Mannion announced that they're putting another 210K into the Classic Physique prize money for this year as well, which is I think sponsored by New Tech. So it's good they're getting more money coming into the sport and it's going to the athletes as well. So Sergio, obviously it's probably a bit overdue, some of this money going up because the 10K shows were probably, it was getting a bit monotonous, but it was that prize for so long. So what do you think about what's happening at the moment with some of these, Arnold putting prize money up and, all these changes?
I mean, it's great. It's great for all the people that were telling us that bodybuilding is dying. They've been telling us for a while, open bodybuilding is dying, and now we make more money than we were, and it's very confusing. Is it dying or is it getting bigger? Because I can't figure out. Because I think what it is people just don't like certain people, and then to them it's dying, and they want to talk as a whole that the sport is dying when it's not. I think it's it took long enough. I'll have to say that. I'll talk to people. I'll talk to like old cats that used to compete like forever ago, like 30 more than my life ago. And they'll be like, "Oh, how much did you win from that show?" And it's the same amount that they won when they competed. So the the
You could
amount the
buy a
amount
house
hasn't
with that back
changed.
then.
Exactly. Right. And it's not like let's be real, it's not like the sport's not making money, they don't have it to dish it out. Everyone was making more money except the bodybuilder. So it's nice to see that it's being trickled down, which is the way it should be. It's only going to now make shows better because more people want to travel. and it's worth it to hop into a show, because now that they took away the point system, to travel across the world to win 10,000 is already like, okay, we're not even doing it for the 10,000, we're doing it for the Olympic qualification. So now when you go, and you might be able to make some money, because sometimes you can spend 10 grand on a prep. Not sometimes, easily spend 10 grand on a prep. So sometimes you're just making out even. So it'd be nice now that you can actually make money, because that's what people say. Oh, you made this amount. I didn't make that amount. I paid it back to what I paid for. Even if you can get sponsors to pay for travel and stuff like that. I'm eating 10 grand of food easily.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, I think like the reason why they've gotten away with, maybe that's not the right word, but the reason why they haven't, increased things for so long is because deep down they know that, I mean, except for maybe at the highest level, like I'd be doing this whether I was getting paid or not. I was doing it as an amateur, wasted ton of money doing this sport, right? It still hasn't really paid off, but we love it. So like, you can kind of take advantage of that to some extent, the passion of the athletes. It's not like we're not going to show up, but it is really cool to see. And it's also cool to see these corporate sponsors coming in, and like the wellness getting more money. I didn't even know about Classic with New Tech. That's great.
It was like 2 hours ago, I think, announced.
Fuck yeah. I mean, those divisions, they have even more to complain about compared to open bodybuilding. But I think, I've been one of the people in this course, one of many people, but we've been bitching about this for a little bit now, and I guess it kind of worked. I don't know if they were listening to us or whether there's some other like driving force behind this extra cash getting, injected into the whole prize pool, but whatever it was, I can't complain,
But honestly, I would actually trade the extra 10 grand and trickle it down into the sport to get better stages, get better lighting, get better live streams. Even just I would pay $10,000 myself just to know exactly when I'm going to go on stage. A lot of things people don't know with competing is you can show up and then you can be there backstage, and it's not even like you're just backstage chilling. Sometimes everyone backstage is so frantic and so hysterical. They're just like, line up, get ready, and it almost makes you so much anxiety when they had you line up and get all crazy just to stand there for another 45 minutes. So actually having the shows be ran a little bit better, and the biggest proof was this Arnold. This Arnold was the first time that they let the guys come out first. It's the most insane thing ever that you have women back there, and it's nothing against the other classes, because whenever you say something, that you want in your class, it has to be something negative against the other class. So it's nothing against them, but the women aren't trying to time their peak. They don't have to really pump up. So having us sit around and wait all day while they go on, they do their mandatories, they do their individuals, they do the trophies. And I don't even know how many people noticed that the guys came out, they did their comparisons, and then they had them knock almost everything out, routines, all of it. And then they came back later on just to get the trophies. And that is going to end up changing the sport probably more than paying an extra 10,000 or even an extra 200,000, because now the athletes are going to look better. They're going to look like what they meant to look like, and that's only going to make the sport even get any better.
Yeah. The Cali show last year, they actually did a good job of like, because the only pro division there was men's open, so they were like ready to go for us, like because there
it was great.
Division. It was easy, so they kind of once they were done with the amateurs. Baidi was at that show too. You did the amateur division there, the Cal.
I did, yeah.
So once they wrapped up and they just let us go.
But they still don't have weight. They still don't have weights backstage. Sorry to cut you off, but Beef Soup over here, him and a few other people backstage don't even use weights. They just literally take their warm-ups off, put some oil on, and they went on stage. It was the most insane thing. So, dude, watching you get on, and Tonio, I swear to God, he laid on the floor until we were lining up. He didn't even do one push-up. It didn't even make sense. So that's still something that bothers me in shows. That doesn't really have much to do with the money. I think it's with like legalities, with people getting
insurance.
hurt.
Yeah, it's like insurance.
Yeah, because But it's when they do the pro-ams, because obviously for there to be a change in something, that means somebody had to have ruined it. And that means when you do the pro-ams, you had a bunch of those amateurs back there that probably dropped a weight on someone's foot or something. But at the just like you just said, it was only our class. We were the only pro class. Give us some fucking weights. Like I don't even think I talked about this. I don't even know if I told you this, Drew. I was sneaking weights in because I asked at the meeting, is there going to be weights backstage? And yeah, I had to nonchalantly bring my 300-pound suitcase in because it had all the weights in it.
Oh my
And
God.
then I asked, I asked Tamer in the morning, I was like, are there weights? And he's like, oh no, there's not, blah, blah, blah. So it was one of those things where if you ask, now if you bring them, they know that you did it knowing you couldn't do it. So the whole prejudging, the whole athlete meeting, I was like, should I ask or should I just do it? Because I'm going to do it anyway. But I was like, oh, I'll be nice, I'll ask. And then when they said no, I'm like, fuck, because now I'm going to bring them in. And so now I'm trying to bring them in. They have that guy checking our bags. Like, why are we checking bags for bodybuilders to go backstage? Like, are we terrorists now? We're gonna have to take our shoes off next. And like, it's so nuts. So he opens my whole bag, and of course I have a full Planet Fitness in there. And then now he calls over. He calls over Tamer, who just told us the morning there's no weights, and now I have to play like, oh, there's no weights allowed? Oh, damn.
Damn.
So there's a lot in the shows I would rather instead of changing the money, but that's just me. Like Stu, I'm gonna do this regardless. We did this before we got paid. I would love for even a show I'm not competing at to look at a show and the lighting is so good that everyone looks good, and we can stop talking about the 90s being so much better when realistically the lighting and the stage was just a lot better too.
Mm. Yeah, and also back in the 90s, they didn't have to wait for 5 different divisions to go up. So they got to go
Exactly.
they got to go fresh, But back to the pump up thing, the weights, to the average person, it might not sound like a big deal because a lot of people, like you said with Stu, a lot of people don't need to pump up. But
I
I've
would
seen people
have loved to pump up, but I just gotta couldn't.
I've also seen people who their physiques completely change when they pump. So that's a big deal. If you're one of those guys and you go on stage without a pump, that could literally mean a couple of placings, I think Phil Heath guest pose and Branch Warren guest pose. And backstage, Branch kind of looked normal. And then he pumps up. I'm like, what the fuck? And then the veins are coming out and everything popping out. Same with Phil, even off season. He he didn't look normal by any means, but he definitely blew the fuck up. So I'm like, imagine if he stepped on stage flat, without the pump. That would be a huge difference. So I think that for guys like Sergio, I've also heard Sergio pumps up quite a bit. So that's gonna be night and day difference. So for you, it's a lot more important. So that's something to think about.
They got it at the Olympia, right? They got weight sets at the Olympia, right?
Yeah, and the Arnolds. Yeah, the Arnold and the Olympia are still coming through. They got like a whole gym in there. There's like a T-bar. There's a bunch of stuff, which is really great.
Yeah,
but yeah, I saw this interview. Go ahead.
A little word advice to anybody who is stuck without weights. Don't use the bands that they have backstage. They're pretty useless. They're super light. Like you need to go buy your own that are like super heavy duty, and you can get some actual like work in before you get on stage. The dinky little shit they have back there just doesn't really cut it. So better than nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do what I did. Don't get in trouble. It's not worth it.
I've done most things.
But I saw an interview with Dave Palumbo, and he said, and this was like not recent, but in the last couple of years, he was like, if you're not where you need to be, where bands won't pump you up, then you didn't prep right. And it was so shocking to hear somebody from the 90s say something like that, because I know guys today think that. But for him to know the vast amount of knowledge he knows that everybody is different, like he was just saying, I weighed 280 something at that Cal show. There's no way bands are gonna pump me up, and I have to go through this thing. And my body's like really fucked up. If I don't like break a sweat, I almost can't even get a pump. Like I have to actually like lift actual real weights. So either way, we're putting out this like information that if you're not able to pump up with bands, then you did something wrong in your prep, and that might apply for maybe people under the 260s and 250s.
Tonio can get away with it.
Yeah. So him and Sean Clarita are the only people that I've ever seen in my life had their sweats on, they took it off, got oiled, and walked up the stairs and went on stage. It was just insane. Sean at the Legion show, and then I've talked about this before too, and it's really cool, and that's why I'm really close with Tonio, is that I'm dying at that show, that Legion. It's me, Regan, and Clarita, and they're running us through, and I'm like starting to lose like my wind, and then they put us on the side, and then they have second call out go. I'm looking at Clarita, who's standing with me and Regan, and now me and Regan, that's the best time. You can let your stomach out, you can get some water, you can take a break, This guy is doing the poses as the second call-out's doing them. It didn't even make any sense. Clarita's doing lat spread when they're doing lat spread. He's just having his own posing routine in the back. And it's the first time that I had my own, there's a lot of talks about Arnold and my dad psyching each other out and all that shit back then. Bro, I was totally psyched out. I was like, holy shit, this dude weighs 100, he weighs 99 pounds less than me. And he's doing first round, second round, third round. He's in every call out, just in the back doing his thing, flexing his quads, his abs, everything. It didn't even make any sense. So Tonio, when I go back, now they call us back up, I clearly must have been starting to lose some energy. And I hear this come on, Sergio, come on. And I'm like, is this somebody from the second or third call out rooting me on? And it was Tonio. And no one even knew who this guy was. And I even told him and his coach afterward, I was like, bro, you gave me a second win. I got all hyped up and I was able to finish that out. But it was really cool to see what kind of person Tonio is on the side, rooting for people that are beating him. And that's a rare thing you're not going to see.
Tonio's a shit, dude. Tonio's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yo, when Ross won, Tonio actually looked happy, which is crazy to think about. But Tonio legit looked like he had a legit smile on his face, and it didn't seem forced. So that says a lot. He was happy for us. Stu wasn't happy.
You kind of out.
The year third.
Yeah, third
or fourth.
Second last year because I had to go back to fucking work. So
yeah.
I want to have that.
Right. That's what he was telling me.
I don't have to do that.
You're the only guy backstage. Yeah, you're backstage talking about going back to work and how you called off and how they're still calling you.
Not anymore.
That's great, man.
Granted, Stu never looks happy on stage though.
Nah.
He's kind of.
You're just gonna keep playing into me this whole thing.
I'm fucking with you. I feel like Sergio had the way of connecting with the crowd. I feel like you can see his emotions, so it makes the crowd get emotional as well, right? You could tell he loves doing this. Not that Stu doesn't love doing this, but I'm just making the correlation.
No, but that's interesting to hear because that's something we definitely never think about. I'm definitely never thinking about how my face is coming off on stage because it's very hard to hide disappointment in yourself and not make it seem like you're not hating on someone else. It's a very hard thing to do on stage. Yeah. So hearing that is good because the next time I'm on stage, I'll bet you I'll hear that in the back of my head.
Yeah, Nick told us on our podcast, he said you want us to they want us to look like we've already won when we walk up there, to be smiling and happy and etc. So
yeah, when Sergio came out for the individual, he had a look like he was he was happy to be there. It wasn't even that he was smiling. He kind of went like this, and it looked like finally, I'm finally on stage, which it comes across well to the audience. They want to see you win because of that, and the audience were really rooting for him. They're so that tells you a lot about your appearance and demeanor can actually make a huge difference on the judges, I believe, and the audience. I know he's not doing it on purpose. It's how he really feels, I'm sure, but it makes it different. I think he muted.
You muted yourself, Sergio. Wait, can I unmute him? Ask to unmute.
Sometimes mute.
Let's do that.
Okay, now, can you hear me back? No, test. Yeah. I said I was probably just happy to be out of jail in Dubai. That's probably all it was.
You went through hell to get to that show, man.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think I really wanted it to be a cool ass story. Go get locked up because I missed Brazil Arnold, missed the New York, and then show up to the Cal. I thought it was just going to be a really cool story, but really looking back, it made no sense for me to be in such turmoil and think that I can hop into a professional bodybuilding show and my body's not going to be just a wreck. So I hate that was my last show with Aceto. I hate that I went through all that to travel to do that, especially coming back to my hometown. It was really close to San Diego too. They moved the Cal had been more north, and then they moved it, so it was really close to where I moved to Dubai from. So I just thought it was going to be like a really cool thing. But yeah, looking back, that's not how you can go into a show. And if I had one, then it really shows that bodybuilding is not that hard, because you shouldn't be able to go to jail, get locked up, eat fucking crackers and pita, and then get out and think in a couple weeks you can just jump into a show. But realistically, that's probably what I was really excited about, is actually just being able to do, because we take it for granted. That's something that it's crazy. I was talking about it on Flex's podcast a couple months before I got locked up, that the Middle Eastern people, they really make you appreciate, or they appreciate competing, because they don't even know if they can get visas. Every time that they do cardio, eat fucking tilapia, do all the grind of bodybuilding, they don't even know if they can compete. And that's something we've never thought about as Americans. One time, I've never done a show and thought, am I going to be able to travel to go there? It's only just, am I going to be ready? Stuff, bodybuilding stuff. So watching them, and then they don't get their visas and they just start the next prep, it makes you start to be like, man, I take that for granted. And then here I am 3 months later. Now I can't travel and I'm in the same position. So I think getting back on stage, even though I easily looked the worst I ever have in my professional career, still beat Stu though. But
That's right.
I definitely was still appreciating, man, like I got to just do a show because I wanted to. I entered it, I traveled, got on a plane. Now I'm eating like regular American food. So I was just on another level of just being happy.
I remember watching you go through that, and I think I don't know if I was messaging you at the time a couple of times, Sergio, but yeah, I just remember that whole experience. And I remember you mentioning about all these Middle Eastern guys that go through that, get knocked back show after show. And that was like what Samson was doing. I remember when this whole, the whole vid, whatever you want to call it, that's what Stu calls it. When that was happening, it was, I remember Samson kept prepping like for show after show, and it kept getting knocked back. And I'm like, this dude's, how could you go through those preps, and he's doing it, and then 2 weeks out, another show gets knocked back. And then he had the whole thing where he's using pump up bands in a hotel room for 2 weeks, which is like, and body weight, which is insane to me in a prep.
Just to not even do that show. He stayed in the hotel, quarantined for 2 weeks, and then the show was canceled 2 days before.
Well, he did it, but he had to stay there like another 2 weeks, but then he was out of quarantine. Then he lost his job at the same time.
Postpone it, or
they
cancel it?
They canceled it the first time. And they ended up having it. Yeah, I think they canceled it, and then they held it for another 2 weeks, right? Which is crazy. That's fucked up.
Well, they told him,
and they had it like
they told him they didn't even know if it was going to happen.
They canceled it. Yeah, they canceled it so they could have it secretly without anybody knowing, right? Like 2 weeks later, some crazy shit like that. It was all bad.
Yeah, well, Sergio, there's a few shows in Europe this year, so maybe don't travel halfway across the country or the world to compete again. Hop off a plane and get on stage. A little lower stress this time.
Yeah.
No, no, that's the one benefit of being out here in Europe, is there's a ton of shows. So
hey, I got a question. Do the Spanish authorities like you?
No, that's what I realized, and that's something I learned when I came out here too, is that I'm not Spain. I'm Latin American. It's a different Spanish. So it's not even like Cubans get any kind of like extra anything out here. We don't even speak. The language is the same, but it's different.
Do you speak Spanish then?
Not. I was just gonna say, not that like I'm so fluent in it, but that's the main reason why I moved out here. I think I had told you when I was in San Diego that it bothers me a lot that I don't speak Spanish. Me and Hunter, I guess Justin are the only Hispanic bodybuilders in the whole fucking open bodybuilding. And neither Hunter or me speak Spanish.
Cuban. I forget that Hunter is.
Me too, bro.
I mean, when he said, "God damn, he is pale as fuck."
Me and Hunter.
There's Rodriguez, Justin Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, Justin.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's
Justin.
it. Me and Hunter are the exact same nationality. That's what's crazy.
Yeah,
his dad is Cuban. Yeah. His dad is Cuban. My dad is Cuban. His mom is white. My mom's white. Just shows the genetics.
You need some melanotan, man.
Well, his dad had a really good tan. His dad is kind of dark on the darker side. When they stand next to each other, his dad looks pretty dark.
Yeah, his dad is like his dad's from Cuba, at least from Cuba. It's just Cubans are the only race that don't have a look. You could be like black, like my dad, or you can be blonde hair, blue eyes. It's a weird race.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never knew your
But
dad
anyway,
was,
so
was
so that's why I moved out here.
I got a lag
Yeah,
going on, I
because you're
think,
racist.
sorry.
Yeah, you think that's what you say. Y'all all look the same to me.
He thought
Hey, you think I could
yeah,
pass for Cuban? What do you think?
right now, yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, you do look Cuban for sure.
I'll just tell
Yeah,
people
you can
that.
go to Miami.
Look at those
Get a
curls, man.
chain.
Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, Stu could totally pass as a drug dealer. Put a chain on there and some like different clothes.
Start moving some
Damn.
weight. Yeah.
He got to be a drug dealer because he's Cuban. Damn, Xavier.
We're living in Miami. Like it's the trade, man.
Uh, that's rough,
Oh
man.
shit, it went there.
Baidi, I was looking back. I don't know if you saw when I shared your last podcast, the part I shared of me just like completely losing it. that conversation, man.
That
Listening
funny.
back to that, I was crying,
Right.
bro. We almost got in trouble on that one, but I think we was all right.
It went left. I'm always like, should I edit this out? Then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. Who cares? I'm not.
Exactly.
I'm not pro yet. I'm not pro. I could get away with it, right?
Yeah, Beatty's always like trying to watch my back, make sure I don't put my foot in my mouth.
Yeah, no, we're Stu up. I got to make sure it's Stu that everything is
doing
okay.
better. I'm doing much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you just rein yourself in enough, Stu. I'm listening, like, and I'm like, no, I think that passes. That passes. Yeah, you're good.
He's doing good. He's doing
Smiling
good.
wave, dude.
I don't know if any of you guys heard this. I heard Dave mention on RX Muscle about John De La Rosa maybe doing the Arnold Brazil or South America.
I mean,
I can see
he's
that.
in shape. He's doing Detroit as well, which is like 2 weeks afterwards, I think. So
Yeah, Stu's doing Detroit as well.
would you stop it? There's no way. Listen, I'll do Detroit when hell freezes over, okay? Like
but yeah, I don't know if John's doing it or not. I think I sent him a message, so I'll check on that during the podcast. But we've got a pretty good lineup in terms of the top guys doing this one. So we've got obviously Tonio, who we've mentioned, who's looking pretty awesome at the moment. We've got Rafael Brandao. We've got Good Vito, Vitaly Ugolnigov, and we've got, who was the other guy? Carlos Thomas Jr., of course, doing it. Fuck, where are we up to? Just
Yeah, so Carlos is he has the potential, potential to make the upset.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Carlos is one of those guys that, like, he came into Texas last year. He wasn't like his best condition, but you can see the structure and everything there. Like, the quads are crazy. He's got a huge amount of muscle. He's gained a huge amount of muscle. I think, like, in the future, if he can nail down that last minute prep, I think he's going to be like really, really ridiculously good. Because I think when we saw that guest posing last year, everyone got super, super excited. And as like in bodybuilding, everyone is going to hype this dude really, really hard. So unless he was going to win, everyone was going to be sort of like, when when he competed. Yeah. But I've already, he showed the potential he's got.
And I think the only people like to rip on him a bit for his back, like it's weak or something. I don't think it's really that weak. It's just it's not in shape, So if he's in condition, you're going to see all this crazy stuff popping out, details and lines that aren't there right now, just because of his ulcerative colitis. He hasn't nailed it yet, but as far as I know, his stomach's behaving. So if that stays in line, he should be on track this year.
I'd like to see him in Good Vito. I'd like to see him and Good Vito next to each other. They're kind of like similar physiques.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I was gonna say Carlos looks like what Good Vito looks like in pictures, but in real life, Insane. That's what Carlos looks like. Vito, I don't know how he's gonna look in real life person. I don't really know, but Carlos actually looks like that on stage.
Yeah, I met him
I
for
don't
the
know
first
what
time
to say,
last
Joe.
year in Brazil because yeah, he's sponsored with Black Skull. We're on the same company, me and Good Vito. And I remember saying the same thing too. Like, because we're all bodybuilders, we're all fans of the sport. We all say the same shit. Like, oh, I want to see what this person looks like. It doesn't mean that you're like scared of them or anything like that. But I definitely had the same thing. I want to see this guy in person. And yeah, he's not dieting, and obviously it's not the same circumstances. But no, it was not the same person as it is in social media. It was very noticeable. So, but like we were just talking about, when you pumped up, you're skin is thin, veined out, you can look like a completely different person. So I hope that he because this is going to be big for him too. Because if we think the pressure is on Rafael, it's not, because that dude's already on a high in Brazil, and it's going to be big for Good Vito because this is his first show. He's not Brazilian, but he lives there, and I think he needs to put out a good showing because he was supposed to do a show, right, and then did his hernia. He had the thing with his leg. So, but him having an injury with his leg is like when Branch Warren had an injury with his leg. Like, you're not even going to notice when things are so big.
You guys have the same shirt on, you and Nathan?
Yeah, I make it look good though.
Oh my God. Well, I'm changing. Well,
Hey,
one of us is
Nathan.
going to have to change.
What's up, Nathan? What's happening, man?
Good. Not too bad. Not too bad. Just
But
got in
your son-
from training, bro. Tired.
Yeah, your son's soccer as well, you had on, or no?
Yeah, so I had training, do some legs, and then
fucking guy.
football. Just got in now, and then I'll fucking eating shit. Do a little. Give you guys a little 40 minutes of my time.
Thank you very much, man. I
Hey,
appreciate it.
hey, Nathan.
Yo.
Hey, Nathan, is that shirt a 5X? Because mine's a 5X.
Well, you're bigger than me. You're bigger than me, but I still beat you.
Yeah.
You're prettier,
Yeah,
Nathan.
That's hilarious.
No, I'm only a 4X, bro. I'm only a 4X.
No, we were just talking about before you got here. I'm actually gonna go down to 212, bro. I keep losing. I keep losing to guys that could be in the 212 class. So I'm just gonna go to 212. Fuck it.
I love it.
What have I missed then? What did I miss?
We were just sort of discussing the Arnold South America, Brazil that's coming up this weekend. We were talking about, we've obviously got Good Vito in there. We've got Carlos Thomas Jr. We've got maybe mind blank, Rafael Brandao, and we've got Tonio Burton in that show. So Nathan, who do you like? I haven't asked who everyone likes in terms of winning this show, because you got Tonio, who finished 8th in the Olympia, and then you got Rafael, who just got 3rd in the Arnold.
I think Carlos should win it.
Carlos?
If he comes in, yeah, bro. If he comes in shape, I like his physique. If he can get in shape, if he comes in actual shape, he should win it. You know, Rafa's the favorite. Obviously, he's fucking Brazilian anyway, so he's gonna get more of a push there, right? But I know I reckon Vito could probably 3rd, maybe 2nd or 3rd. He's not gonna win it. You know, I can't see him winning this. Fucking, he's got good muscle, right? But like proportion not the best. And then we look at him, he's got like one weird leg as well since that tear. If no one can notice it in the blind, bro, but one tear drops up halfway up his quad. You see that?
No.
Yeah, I noticed it looks a little different. Yeah, I'll
little. Oh, don't talk shit. Don't talk shit, bro. It's massively different. It's off taken to the physique compared to, put a picture up. I don't think that it was when I seen his last picture, it was the quad. I was like, wow, like it just looks half of his leg. The sweep, you know. You can notice it. Look, you can't see it. Other side.
This side.
You see it? Yeah.
Like you talking about there?
I don't know.
So how you
talking about this
it looks weird, right? Yeah.
It's hard to tell because the light. I don't know which one.
Nah, bro, no, it just looks different, right?
I think everyone
It's
was
hard to tell because
distracted
look,
looking at his toes in this picture. Honestly.
the toes are huge, right?
I can't really tell, but the light is coming from one angle, so I gotta see it with even lighting.
Yeah,
But his
I
legs are
guess
big,
so.
I guess.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Well, his legs are bigger than all of ours. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Can get away with it. I mean, the thing about him that kind of throws me off a bit is like even though we don't really notice it very often, like his symmetry is not great. You know, the way that he poses his front double, the way he poses his back double, it's a little, it's just not symmetrical, period. You know,
Mm.
I don't
But
know if
Raf,
that's like a skeletal
I don't think
thing or like,
Rafael have a problem beating him though, right?
Yeah,
I
I think
think
Rafael
Rafael.
will beat him.
I think, yeah,
Yeah.
I think Carlos should beat him as well because Carlos has big fucking legs.
I think so. Yeah.
I wish Beirut was actually doing the show because he won it last year.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do you think Beirut
Yeah.
could
Yeah,
could win it if he was in it?
yeah, because he's another guy. I think it's tough to beat Rafael right now because they especially want him at the Olympia. That's going to be a tough thing to beat. But I'll tell you this: that's probably one person that I have seen that I thought wasn't all that, and that he does have this like symmetry where his shape it kind of works, and him even having smaller legs, it kind of somehow still flows, and then his lats connect to his ass. That
Yeah.
he's actually a really good bodybuilder.
what's those to
But
do?
because we just what I don't know, that's what I was going to say because he does Brazil because he doesn't need a visa.
No,
So if he's not doing
I
Brazil,
heard he's doing Italy, Spain, right?
he's not coming to
That's
Dubai.
what
He's not coming for Dubai. Dubai.
I heard of Milos on a post saying Italy, and then obviously he was doing Italy, he'll do Spain. That's what Milos put.
Hey,
Mm.
that show that Beirut's win against Samson. Would anybody be mad if Beirut would have won that show?
No.
I don't
Right,
think so.
No,
exactly. No,
I was in there.
no, because
I wasn't so.
he's peeled. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of
Yeah.
filter, but he's shredded. He's full.
I spilled to the death.
I think
Yeah,
I
I mean
think
he's. Go
he's
ahead.
good. I think Beirut is the best bodybuilder that nobody's talking about.
We talk about him like once a year, and then he just falls out because he can't make it to the Olympian. It sucks, you know.
Can't
He don't
compete.
he don't post
Yeah.
though, bro. Either he don't post nothing. And when
No, you don't.
it's all Arabic, so no one like takes much notice, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has to do Dubai.
As pretty. Yeah, I think so.
There's no
As
reason.
pretty as Samson's physique is, like when you have that kind of conditioning next to Samson, honestly, it made him look better than Samson. If I'm being honest, like I don't think anybody would have complained if Beirut would have won.
But that show though, bro, that show Samson was shredded, right? Because I was there. The
Okay.
lighting was dead, right? And
Okay.
Samson's black as fuck anyway, right? So he just
Yeah, he is.
Sam was like it just didn't look the best. You have to be there. I wouldn't. The conditioning there doesn't do him no justice. To be totally honest, you know
Okay.
the picture. So and because he's so black, it's like a Keem sometimes. Pictures don't
Yeah.
do him justice. You have to be there to actually judge it.
Yeah, that's
But
facts.
this
Samson.
side chest is that side chest is beating Rafael. That back double is beating Rafael. If they were doing the show, I'm saying together, even with the improvements, the front double he would lose. The front shots he would lose just because of the quads. But that side shot is stupid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is old. And this is older. You know, like he's actually even better.
Yeah,
Hey
that's
man.
scary. I
Yeah.
think he's going to
Yeah.
do really well whenever he competes this year. And if he gets to the Olympia, I think he's definitely a top 10 guy, no doubt. Because you go,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
who's sort of in the top 10 last year? Now we don't know who's going to get to the Olympia this year, obviously, but it's yeah, he's definitely going to be a factor if he is able to make it. But does anyone think I feel like everyone thinks that he's just not going to make it or assumes that at the moment. Does anyone have any word on that at all?
I mean, it doesn't look like Iran's not doing any better. Like they've got their shit together. So I don't see
Yeah.
why.
Man, hey, if he ever makes it to the US, I think he can beat anybody besides that. Top five?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
No,
for
what
sure.
you're thinking of, bro? Like last year, the Olympia was weak as fuck anyway. After the top five,
you're right.
everyone,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
many dropped out? Loads dropped out, right? Loads, like Nick dropped out. Loads wasn't there, like injuries and
You're
stuff.
right.
That's what I think of. Like, like no, like Regan was in there as well. But when you put like what was it, 8 guys, 9 guys were in there. But Regan was even made the
Yeah,
top 10, and Regan's a good bodybuilder.
yeah.
For sure.
Good point. Yeah, because Brandon Curry was sick and he still got fourth place.
Show it to me. I gotta
Yeah.
focus.
So yeah, so that tells you that the lineup was not as packed as it could have been. Yeah, so many people dropped out. I know. Yeah, Nick, Brett, Ramy, Bonak,
Ian
Nathan didn't
retired.
make it. Ian
I meant
retired.
yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. A lot of people. Yeah, you're right. Mhm.
Yeah, it's crazy every
Crizzo,
year.
Crizzo, Crizzo's good too. Don't forget about him.
Chris
Even
is,
though
Yeah,
it's not
Cleveland,
pretty, it's not pretty, but he's still a good ass bodybuilder, and he's gonna win Spain, and he's gonna be right back in that Olympia. And realistically, if people aren't, are only on shape, he beat Andrew, and he should have beat Hunter, but they had him behind both of them, and then he came back a little bit softer at the night show, which I probably would have did the same thing too, because if you look at Crizzo and prejudging, I was sitting with Rolly, and I was like, holy shit, it's the most shredded he's ever been. He can still fix his posing and stuff like that, nitpicking and shit like that. But then they were putting him next to Andrew, which is easily Andrew's one of his worst looks. And Hunter didn't look as good as he did in Texas. I thought they should have put Crizzo over, and they ended up not. So I feel bad for him, but he's still good, because you were saying out of the top 5. It's more like out of the top 7.
yeah. I can see
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And Justin Shear just didn't look his best, but he's a good ass bodybuilder too. So I think there's just a lot of guys that did the Olympia for the first time. You get all you're still trying to figure it out. You got all the emotions. But I think no matter what, this Olympia is going to be better. Even if it's the same exact people, I think everybody's going to be better across the board.
Yeah,
I agree.
can see that.
I agree, man. It's funny. It comes in waves. Like sometimes you'll get like a completely stacked out top 10 where it's like right down to 10th. It's really, really competitive. And it almost seemed to be like when I started following bodybuilding, it was your top 2 going at each other, which was like Ronnie J for years. And then we had like Phil and Kai, and it just seemed like that was the pattern. And then you had the guys like the Dexters and those sorts of guys that just slotted in between, behind that in the top 6. And then you had like these other guys that would consistently place in those places. And now it seems like it's completely like thrown up in the air. And there's, from whatever 7th, 8th, typically down to like 16th, you've got all these really good bodybuilders that are sort of on a similar level that sometimes could switch doing smaller shows. Like Nathan, you experienced it, man. You beat a whole bunch of guys, and then you got beaten by a bunch of guys. Like I don't necessarily agree with that placing for that European show that I'm talking about, but
Yeah.
it shows that placings can change a lot more nowadays, like in those sort of lower positions. So like a guy like Tonio can come up and snatch an 8th place in the Olympia, when some of those guys behind him, you could say on their day could beat Tonio,
Yeah, I guess.
Thanks, Nathan. You let that fall so dead. But
It depends on how many Olympia qualifications Nathan's going to steal from people this year. This guy ruined like 4 people's dreams.
No, not this year, bro. Not this year. I'm picking them wisely.
Yeah, that's what I
I
figured.
think he won't be the only one doing that though, because like the prize money is bigger, like we were talking about. There's more incentive for if you want to show. Why wouldn't you go to the next weekend, get another however many $1,000?
Man,
I think travelers for. If you stayed local, you can pick the money up. Even for you now, Sergio, why would you want to go to the US? Okay, it's your home, but you can earn more money going around Europe, and you can get a flight for like $100. So why you want to fly to the US? It's pointless, right?
Yeah. There's so many guys that have to qualify, man. It's insane. You look at the guys just from the Arnold, like guys making a comeback like John De La Rosa and Akeem. They kind of was up here, they went down, come back up, and then you got Rafa who's gonna qualify. You got the new guys like Stu, You got Tonio, you got Nick. You know what I'm saying? It just keeps going. Andrew and Hunter got to qualify.
Why
Holy
is
shit!
the king going to Brazil?
I don't know.
What? Why was the king going to Brazil?
He's probably burned out. He's been dieting since the Olympia, I think.
Oh, he should go to Brazil, bro. I'm telling you, I'd go to Brazil.
I'm surprised he's not doing New York. I don't understand why anybody would live there and not want to win that show. That's the thing that drives me the craziest.
Yeah.
And don't forget about Quinton. Quinton is definitely going to qualify for the Olympia at some show.
Oh yeah.
Quinton's stupid.
Shit.
So you're right. There's a lot of guys that they didn't go to the Olympia necessarily last year, but they are going to this year.
Oh shit! We didn't even take Martin Fitzwater, Brett Wilkin.
Yeah.
Holy fucks.
Exactly.
Sergio and Nathan. Oh damn! It's so many people.
Fuck those guys. Fuck those guys.
Damn.
Yeah, there's gonna be some shows, like it just depends who picks what shows for a lot of it as well sometimes. So we're never gonna get like the ideal Olympia lineup, because there's gonna be 4 really good guys that should qualify for the Olympia that do 2 shows, and they might do the same 2 shows. Maybe one does another show, but then one guy could run through it, like, you know, Nathan's done in the past, you know, winning like 11 pro shows and do multiple shows. Sorry?
What show Sergio doing? He's European now.
Well, we asked that before.
I don't know. I was just telling him before you came on. I actually hurt my ankle, so now I don't even know what. So yeah, I know. I actually, I heard it sticking my foot up your ass. Is how I heard it actually. But so yeah, I got to figure that out, because, and the other thing too is like, look, I'm not just competing just myself too. This is, you know, with Dorian. So I'm kind of really like wanting to do a really good showing with this guy, because this guy's never helped anybody. He honestly doesn't even follow the sport. None of the Mr. Olympians really follow the sport. If you talk to any of them, they couldn't name 5 guys. So I feel like I'm kind of getting him back in the sport. I'm like talking to him about other bodybuilders, and, you know, he's like, you know, I'm not saying he's like treating me like his son, but he's definitely like going about this where it's not just something like, whatever. He's definitely invested. So just to do like what I did last year, where I'm just like, I'm just going to hop in this show just because, you know, I don't want to do. So I want to make sure I pick the right show. So I was trying to do Spain. I was even going to message Crizzo and start talking a little shit, because he's a cool dude actually. And
yeah, Crizzo's cool, man.
But now I'm not. Yeah, he's actually good people. But I'm not going to be able to do that show anymore. So then I was going to say like, I can try and go to Portugal, but I'm having some problems with visas out here. So I got to figure that shit out. So I actually don't even know what the fuck I'm going to do.
You need a visa to get over to Portugal as a U.S. citizen?
You need a visa. You need a visa to be in Spain. Our passport doesn't mean shit no more.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Nathan can come here. All the Brits are here. They come and go as they please, even though they're in the Brexit.
Yeah, well, they get tourist industry.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. I might have to pull a Nathan. Nathan was messaging me last year, asking me if I know anybody in Mexico to sneak him in through the to get him to do the Olympia.
I'll just paint my face.
Oh man.
Oh, man. But I don't even know how we got to these topics, but anyway, going back to
Arnold Brazil, right?
Arnold Brazil.
Yeah.
I like it though. We get to some interesting stuff. But Arnold Brazil, we've discussed Good Vito, we've discussed Carlos, we haven't really discussed Raf too much. Obviously, came in really good at the Arnold Classic in Columbus. Decided to skip the UK, which I thought that, well, especially considering we heard, you know, Samson had a few issues, and, you know, I was wondering if he would be at his best, and he seemed to bring his best. And then also Hardy, no one knew if he was coming in, and he got there the day before. I thought Raf would probably definitely jump in that show, but he's focusing on Brazil. What did you think, Sergio? Now, obviously, you guys work with the same coach, so I don't know if you got any inside knowledge, but what did you think of Raf at the Arnold Classic?
I thought it was actually really good, just because especially people were talking about how behind he was, and from me going from Aceto to Neil, just like he did, it's really hard to know that Neil's bringing you in to look good that day. Where a lot of times with Aceto, you're actually coming in. If you were paying attention, everyone was bashing Rafa, saying he was off and he's not going to be in shape and he's not coming in time. So it was really cool to talk to Neil and hear him say about how he's really trying to preserve all the muscle that Rafa gained by taking the year off. And if they just are shredded, 5 days out and lose some of that muscle, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of taking a year off. So it was really cool to see in the background how they were going about things, and then watch the Arnold and see the finished touch. Like, he's a lot bigger. He fixed everything that they told him to fix, and you can't blame the guy for passing the UK to go back to his hometown. It's Brazil. He's got his own food, his own people. He's sleeping in his own bed, and he's never won. And I don't think he's ever lost that show. I think the only time he's ever lost was when Juan Morel beat him, and it was like Rafa's first time doing it. So he's on a win streak winning that show. So he probably just wants to get back and do it. But I wouldn't see why he's not better. There's no reason why he's not better, because Neil's there. They're training together at Rafa's private gym, training, getting ready for the show. They're not in Sao Paulo, but they're close, So I predict he's going to win, obviously, which is a crazy prediction, but he will be better than he was in Ohio.
Yeah.
Does anyone know if Marcelo De Angelis is doing it, or is he done competing right now?
He's done for the year, I think. I think he's coming back next year.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I think that's right. Yeah. But I think he was planning on originally doing that because obviously he's Brazilian. But I think with maybe, I don't know if this is like how he showed up and he thinks that, okay, he needs some time off or he's burnt out or what the deal is. It's hard to disseminate some of that Brazilian like posts with the you translate it, but sometimes it still doesn't make full sense. But yeah, so they're the main guys doing it, and then obviously we mentioned Tonio, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Tonio.
So let's do some predictions.
You remember the guy who got second place last year? He's a Brazilian as well. He was like the most shredded guy at the show.
Yeah.
Was it Vitor Both?
He looks like me. Yeah, I think that's his name. I think he's doing it too.
Wellington.
Yeah, Vitor was second last year.
Yeah. He's another guy that's conditioned, shredded, but just doesn't have flaring quads or any kind of like mass per se.
I want to find out who you're talking about. I want to see if it's Wellington or Vitor
Both.
Both.
He got second to Beirut last year.
I think you're talking about
That was Wellington, I think.
Yeah, he got like he's aesthetic. Yeah, he kind of like Sergio's complexion, aesthetic guy.
Just
yeah, because I don't think Sergio looks like Vitor Both.
No. He was shredded.
I just didn't do the hair plugs yet.
No, okay, yeah.
Or the hair tattoo. He's got that hair tattoo.
Oh man.
This guy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is
this recent? Oh, if this is recent, he might not be doing it.
This is 2 weeks ago, so yeah, I don't think he's in.
He's not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is me if I shave my beard.
Don't do that then, please. No offense to this guy, but don't do
it.
I love that picture of Dorian too.
Oh, there you go, Sergio.
Yeah, that is us. That's me. That's from Spain.
Look at the arms. You even got you got the big arms too going.
Yeah, he's a big dude. He just he just doesn't have like real flaring muscles. But if he could get his legs, he would be the same like we were talking about Beirut. Like, he's not lagging anything, and everything's conditioned. Now sometimes, bro, like condition stands out way more.
I agree.
I know firsthand. Trust me.
Why he got the hair tattoo like Vegeta like that? Oh, you got the
It
point.
is like a point. It's at a point. Yeah, it's at a point.
Why you did it like that?
Bro, these
It's supposed to-
Brazilians, man. Shit.
What? It's supposed to be straight down, man. Well, I do your thing, Wellington. I'm not gonna judge you.
Mhm. But yeah, he's good. He's good people. He's a good dude. Because there's a lot of dudes in Brazil that they're just so lost. They're delirious. And it's just, it is what it is. When you stay there your whole life, you never leave, you never even leave to travel for vacation, you start to think that what's really big and what's good is only in your country, and you just are oblivious. But no, he's really good, and he knows what he's got to work on. And when he goes to shows, he's like, even not even speaking English, still trying to talk to people. That's like that's a big thing, not speaking English and going to shows and still trying to like, communicate with your fellow bodybuilders. It goes a long way.
Yeah, a lot of potential. Yeah, a lot of potential, man.
But anyway, so that's Brazil, Arnold, right? And then what's after Brazil, Arnold?
We got Detroit, I
We
think.
don't know.
Detroit.
Oh,
and then
Detroit, right. Mm-hmm.
There's some good
And
guys.
you missed it,
on that.
Nathan. Nathan Stu said he's doing in Detroit before you got here.
Yeah. He confirmed.
Nice. Nice.
favorite
Officials.
promoter.
He loves FWAD. He loves FWAD so much he wants to do it.
But let's get on to some predictions. So, Sergio, who have you got in this one? Because we'll do top four. I know William Martins is doing it as well, but I don't know if he'll maybe factor into, I think out of the guys that are doing it, I don't think he'll factor into that sort of top two unless some of these guys miss maybe.
Detroit, I don't even know besides Martin.
Oh no. Let's do Brazil.
We did Brazil. It's Rafa's gonna win. Nathan's the only person saying Carlos, which is great, but that's not happening. And then we have you have like we're not doing who we want to win. We're doing who we think's gonna win. I want Carlos to take first place at the Olympia, but and then you have second. We said Good Vito, right? And then who else?
I disagree. I think
Tonio. No. I actually no. Yeah, I wasn't saying those places. I was just naming them. I think Tonio is honestly going to give Rafa a run for his money because Tonio's best body parts are Rafa's worst body parts. And whenever you have a dynamic like that, that's just fun bodybuilding. Because from the front, okay, it can be a toss-up. But when you turn around, Tonio's not going to lose any of the back shots. He's not going to lose a back double to anybody in South America.
I got one question. Are the judges Steve and Tyler, or are they from Brazil? Are they Brazilian judges? Just one.
There's going to be one. There's one, but then there's Tamer.
Okay. Tamer judging.
It's one of those things where you know how the New York Pro is like Steve is a judge, but he's not the head judge. You know how they do that? So it's the same thing. Like but that's what I'm saying. They're not, but they are. You're gonna tell me that Steve's in New York and he's just like this with his hands over his eyes? Come on.
Yeah, you like that.
Yeah, because that's how it's been, and it should, and that's good that they do stuff like that, because if it's your show, you shouldn't be able to be the head judge, and it's great that they do that, but they still have a say. Like there's no way. So I think Tamer's, he still has a say. I don't think Tarek, his brother, is gonna be there. I don't know what's going on with that situation. But to answer the question, yeah, it's mostly the Brazilian judges.
I think Tonio actually had a really good chance of winning if Steve is the main judge, is the head judge. No. I mean, either way you look at it, I think Tonio plays higher at the Olympia than Rafa, but that doesn't really mean anything because it's 2 different years, different physiques, whatever the case is. But I think Tonio has a legit chance. He won't be structurally as big, like he's a lot smaller structurally, but he's just as muscular. If not more muscular in some shots, like the back poses. So I think Tonio has a good chance, but I'm still gonna go Rafa, Tonio. I want to say Carlos, and then Good Vito. If he looks like the pictures, then Good Vito might be battling for second. If he doesn't look like the pictures, then maybe four fish, something like that.
Yeah, you love this guy
The
so much.
only
That's my boy.
the only downside to the Brazil Arnold is that they do the competition in the expo. So the lighting is god awful. So I'm worried with the whole thing. So unless they switched it, unless they're gonna switch it this year, yeah, I always will like sneak away from my booth and then go watch the show. And I don't have to tell you that expo lighting is the worst lighting in bodybuilding. So I'm worried with Tony. Go ahead.
They did a good job with the classic physique lighting this year at the Arnold, which was in the expo. So like it's possible, but I know what you mean. Like with all of that fucking open space and light coming from everywhere, it has a tendency to wash you out. Did you get the fucking Arnold, Ohio guys to set that up, man? That would be good. They did a good job there.
You would think that they're all the same, right? That they're all the same people running the show. But I learned that a couple years ago. It's not. Maybe it's changed now that it's not the Lormers anymore. Maybe it's just an actual official Arnold group of people. That would be good because then it's the same across the board. But it was UK looked different than Ohio. So
yeah, definitely.
But either way, so I think that lighting won't be good with Tonio. That's gonna be the only downside. If it is that shitty expo lighting, that's only gonna hurt a black guy on that stage.
It's true.
Yeah.
Do you think that hurts a black? Why does it hurt a black guy more to have the expo lighting?
It just bounces off their skin. It's like what's like Samson and Akeem. It's like when people are like, oh, they have thick skin. It's not really thick skin because you've seen pictures of Samson like at the gym with like certain lighting, or he went in that aerobics room and he was doing that photo shoot a little bit before the Arnold everyone saw. He looked so shredded. His hamstrings looked like nasty. But sometimes when you get that light that bounces off of you, or it's not above you, particularly straight above you, it's just kind of like at an angle, you get that kind of like almost like a charcoal look. It's weird. It almost looks like they don't have any oil on. And that's like the best way I can describe it.
Yeah. I remember doing shows in like expos and thinking that is some bright as hell light. I've got to darken this tan up a bit. And typically in those ones, it was like the guys had to be, you can't be white, or just even slightly too on the side of too light in those expos because, yeah, the lighting is dramatically different. And Brian Powers from the Arnold was talking a bit about setting up the stage lighting for streaming versus actually being there and being a judge in person as well. And he said there's differences. He said on the live stream it will come across darker if it's set up to be perfect there in person. So maybe that's why the expo stream looked a little bit better as well. So but they did a great job. Like the finals of the Arnold UK, the stream was way better, but pre-judging was a little rough. But yeah, I agree with your picks, Baidi. Nathan, how are you ordering that top four?
I'll change it now. I'll go. I'll change now. The judge. I'll change it now. I will go Rafa, Good Vito, Carlos, and Antonio.
Ooh, you hater.
Bro, Carlos is a freak, man. If Carlos gets in actual shape, it's game over, bro. He's a fucking guy's a natural freak. I like his physique, me, so just go with what I like. Obviously, my opinion.
Yeah.
You racist, bro. You put the two light-skinned guys first and second. You put the dark guys third and fourth.
Well, we all going to Brazil. It's gonna be Brazilian judges, so I'm gonna favor Brazilians, right? It's got make common sense of it.
He's got a point.
So, that's how it works, bro. You say it don't, but that's how it works. So I'll favor them two guys.
It's a decently smart move becoming part of that Brazilian culture for like Good Vito, because Brazilian fans are pretty hardcore. So I mean, it could probably be bad. Like if Good Vito actually misses it,
shit,
really bad. I feel like it could be a bad thing.
Dude, they're going to run him out of the damn country if he fucks this up.
Yeah, they're gonna send him back to Russia.
Get drafted.
But it's a weird dynamic because he only speaks a little bit of Portuguese, and then his girlfriend, he speaks Russian and Portuguese, and she has to translate for him. So he still doesn't understand the language completely. He understands more than I do, but yeah, he still has to use his girl as a translator.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Well,
Sergio, does your partner speak English?
yeah, mine now.
Yeah, like it is like because I'm trying to think now on your stories. I'm like, I think I've heard her speaking.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a strong accent. She's from Lithuania, but yeah, she speaks English. I couldn't be with someone who doesn't speak English. That would be. It's only like a turn on for a little bit, and then you can't even carry a conversation. It's like, oh, this is just about sex.
Yeah.
Her English isn't that great, but it's better. But no. She speaks really good English. Because we were friends in Dubai, and I don't think I could be friends with someone who doesn't speak English.
Damn.
Not like that. Like what are we talking about? Like
oh shit. It's okay.
I mean, Nathan barely speaks English. Jesus.
No,
I'm not English. I'm Scouse. We don't identify as English, bro. We don't identify.
Yeah,
English. We're another breed, different breed.
Me and Nathan got into a little thing at the press conference at the Olympia, and he said something to me, and exactly no one understood what he said. So I was even saying that we needed to get Rosetta Stone for the press conference to even understand him.
Well, I can remember it quite well. Sergio was giving it the mouth, right? And I said, Sergio, you can give it your mouth now. This is the only time you'll be on stage with me. The rest of the time, you'll be elsewhere. And I was right. I was fucking right.
Look, my first
Nathan
Olympia, and this is how he treats me at my first Olympia.
He welcomes you in.
So, Sergio, did you smack talk your first Olympia press conference? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, that was it. Me and him were going. But it wasn't a real. It wasn't like I can't even think. Yeah. It was fun. Yeah, it wasn't even.
Everyone else at all.
But yeah, it wasn't my first Olympia qualifying. It was my first Olympia I went to, because the first time I qualified, I didn't go, and then I went in 2018. That's when Sean won, and then that's when we were in the press conference.
Yeah. I think shit talking is fun as long as you don't take it too personally. It's just shit talking.
You Americans take it personally. You have no banter. You're so stuck up. It's unreal. It's in a Sergio. Sergio's the only American who's got a bit of banter. The rest of them are just fucking like that, just stiff as a cardboard box.
Yeah. But I love it. I love it, exactly. And I used to be on the debate team when I was in high school, so I love actually having random ass debates with people. I'm not gonna lose.
I was on the debate team, guys. You don't stand a chance.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, I could have made it. I could have been somebody if I would have continued with the debate team, but I ruined it by doing a stupid bodybuilding. No one would have told me I was never going to be my father if I would have stayed on the debate team.
So we've established Sergio hates people that don't speak English, and Nathan hates Americans. So.
I hate Americans too, honestly.
See, Stu's right. See, come to England, bro. Come to England.
My mom's English, yeah. So.
Is she?
Shit.
Yeah. Believe it or not.
Where from?
London. She moved here in like the 60s. So,
really?
But she still like, speaks like her mother, because her mother was English, and I know a lot of that culture.
She was there when America. She was there when America was great before it became a shithole, I guess.
Yeah. Once I was born, it went downhill basically. But yeah, she's not from like where you're from. She's from civilization.
From South. Yeah. She's South.
I didn't know that about Stu. I thought Stu was a Puerto Rican this whole time.
Would you fucking stop it, dude? I don't even know where Puerto Rico is. I'm gonna look it up right now, actually.
Well, it's part of the United States. Hate to bust it for you.
Well, isn't it in New York? Because that's where all the Puerto Ricans are.
Oh my god! Oh,
Oh, okay. That's where. Okay, learned something today. Cool. It's in the Caribbean.
Thanks, Jude. Oh man. Okay. Sergio's lost it. If man, I don't even know where we're up to with what the fuck we were talking about. But Sergio, I was gonna ask you, man, do you think that Australia, like Australian people, are all similar to, well, not obviously somewhat, but similar to English people somewhat without a different accent?
I mean, they're more like Kiwis than they are British people. New Zealand, New Zealand, and New Zealand and Australian are the same. I know I just made a lot of people mad, but they're more similar. I would say the Brits and the people here in Spain are the same because they've been coming here for so long that they've integrated and changed the race where everyone here is like Spain and British.
Fair. Because Australia, because we're part of like the Commonwealth, and we do things like that some of the Brits do, because a lot of people have like grandparents that are English or whatever. But when I think about it, and I think about the perception that you'd probably have of Australians and being on the Gold Coast and stuff, then it's probably way different in terms of like the people that live on the Gold Coast compared to the people that live in like Tasmania, where it's cold, sort of like England, and rains a lot. I feel like the people in Tasmania are more like British than the rest of Australia. The rest of Australia is more like, you know, bogans.
I think
Yeah, I dated
English.
I dated a girl from Tassie.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, they're hotter.
In Tasmania, no, that's not the perception here, man. Tasmania, no.
Yeah.
But no, I used to date a girl from Tassie, and she lived in Melbourne, and she definitely was very British for sure. But then in the Gold Coast were like people in San Diego, in LA. They're very
Yeah.
surfer West Coast.
Yeah, for sure. I find though where there's more people that live in a certain area, the rate of them actually looking after themselves and where the weather's hotter goes up dramatically. Like you look up the Gold Coast, the amount of people that train and actually look after themselves compared to the people in Tasmania where it's cold as hell is dramatically different. Like dramatically. But
Yeah, for sure.
anyway, we've got a couple listener questions. I'm trying to figure out how to access. For whatever reason, my desktop bodybuilding account has been blocked on my iPhone for some reason. So I don't know why that's happening. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I can access it on my desktop, but I just can't check certain things. But anyway, someone asked 100% beef stew versus 100% Ryan Foster. Who's Ryan Foster?
No
Ryan.
Huh?
Ryan's a good friend of mine. He turned pro a year and a half ago now at Nationals. Ryan's gonna do great.
So that's 100%.
Yeah. If you
That's
make
you're
the
gonna
show
win
this year, Ryan's gonna do great in Vancouver. TBD.
I got my money on Ryan.
Yeah, fuck you, babe. I'll come collect.
I want to pull up your updates, Stu. Let me pull that up. I like this one. I like it when you pulled it up, Baidi, on your podcast, and then you went to the next screen.
The with the face.
But I mean, I love that because I was like, oh, what are we gonna get here? But man, how are you feeling about your prep and your look?
I'm happy. I feel kind of skinny right now, but that's fine, for this point in prep. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of in the middle of it. So nothing exciting yet, but everything on track. I have nothing interesting to say about my prep. It's just another prep.
Well, the hair is coming along nice. That's for sure.
That's really all that matters.
Yeah. The smile and the hair.
I feel like you should make a t-shirt with like something to do with your hair or something on it. And beef stew.
In the works. Yeah. I'm trying to figure something like that out with a couple of my friends. So
Good. I like it. I like it.
Yo,
all right.
Stu,
Sorry.
can you pick your hair? Can you get like a blow dryer and pick your hair out? Would it turn into afro?
I'll let you do it.
Yeah, try it
You
out.
probably know better
Nah,
than me.
I do. Yeah.
I'm not doing that, man. I got a couple of friends who are like, they're trying to get me to do cornrows when it gets real long.
Do it. Do it.
I want to see that.
Christ.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
Dude, let's do a bet, right? If you lose, you gotta get cornrows.
Oh,
How
perfect.
about
Yeah.
if I win, I'll go. If I go to the Olympia, I'll do cornrows.
Yeah, do cornrows for the Olympia.
I'm
Yeah,
probably
you
not
gotta
going
do
to the
that.
Olympia, but should be
Yeah, the judges will love that.
You, you got to go to J Marcus, get that lineup with the fade,
Yeah.
like Wyatt did, and
Then
get
I'll
the.
look Puerto Rican.
Oh yeah, you gonna put it for sure, for sure.
All right. Next
Oh
question.
man.
What's your thoughts on training off season versus pre-contest? I feel like this has been asked on a fair few podcasts. Like, do you guys do anything different in terms of training? Anyone?
No.
Not purposely, but I guess when you get to the point that you can't recover, maybe you could pull back a little bit of volume, but you don't do that intentionally. It's kind of just you kind of go by feel, you know. I don't know if you start your elbows and knees start hurting from some shit, maybe you'll choose a different exercise. But I don't think any of us go into prep like, okay, let me change my training that's gotten me this big, you know. It's gotten you this far. There's no really no need to change it much, at least if any.
Probably
Sure.
add in some more glutes and stuff like that. But yeah, the main training doesn't change.
Yeah, I do more adductors, more glutes, abs. I train abs in contest prep, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That's about it, really.
Yeah,
None
I feel like
else.
everyone trains abs more during contest.
Don't train. Yeah, like don't train lighter. Like don't do the old school like higher reps and to get cut bullshit. Don't do that shit. That's not real
Okay,
life.
we've got a few questions here. Do you think he'll make VO this year?
No.
Confidence, man. Love it.
No. Yeah, and if I do, pleasant surprise.
Yeah, cornrows.
Okay, so next question is from actually, I don't know if these people want to mention, but what are your thoughts on all these pros using and promoting Kratom?
Who, me?
Yeah, you go, Nathan.
I'm lost for the question.
Okay.
First of all, first question: what's Kratom for Nathan?
Yeah, what's Kratom, man?
Yeah, nothing's legal in the UK.
Shit, how do you even describe? How do you describe Kratom? People tell me it gives them energy. They feel like they on fucking CBD. They would cut. It basically sounds like a fucking miracle drug, which is a little concerning. But it does everything, Nathan. Basically, it just does everything with pre-work.
Kratom. It works on the same receptor
Kratom?
site as opiates do, I believe. So it sort of works, I suppose, in
Fuck
that
that,
way.
bro. That's why he's all addicted to opiates in America. Fuck that shit.
Bro.
Well, some people use it to get off opiates, I believe. I think, but yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, no,
I have
it's
no
really
idea because I
good.
have no personal experience.
It feels good.
It is good. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've known the person who's running that company back when he was even just introducing it, and it was back when it was even like illegal in the States, and then trying to use it for supplements and recovery and anxiety and stuff like that, without getting you like fucked up like smoking a joint would. And it is really good, but obviously, you know, in moderation for everything.
Yeah.
But I think the worst thing people do, bodybuilders especially, is that they ignore mental things that, you know, you're struggling with, even anxiety. And the more you just try and pretend it's not a problem, or I'm just gonna man up and suck it up, is when you really start to have real problems. So having stuff like that can help you, you know, deal with the stresses of prepping and regular life, with also the added supplements we add to our life.
Yeah, I've used it a couple times, and you got to use it in moderation. You can make yourself sick if you take too much of it, and you probably shouldn't do it every day. But it does have a bit of a pain relief or a pain killing effect. It makes you feel pretty good, like almost too good in my opinion. Like I like this a little too much, so I don't want to get into the habit of it. I mean, I guess we'll see like a year from now, because a lot of these guys were sponsored by whether it's Uprising or Mint 45. Those are the two companies. They're getting just shitloads of the product. So if you're buying it yourself, it's kind of expensive. So it's going to be prohibitively expensive to just use a ton of it every day. The athletes that are sponsored are just getting a bunch of it. And, I was hanging out with some guys at the Arnold, and they were using quite a bit of it. And I'm like, I don't know. Hopefully doesn't become an issue down the road. I'll just say that. Maybe we'll have a bunch of Kratom addicts a year from now. We'll see.
I don't know too much about it, so I don't like to have too strong of opinion. But from what I'm watching and seeing, I see guys just chugging Kratom left and right. Larry Wills has a company too, the White Rabbit, and that has Kratom in it. And I'm seeing people just chug this left and right, and they feel so great. Yeah, you're gonna feel great, but why do you feel great? I don't know. To me, part of me feel like, okay, what happened with Nubane, right, in the 90s, where it was like, oh no, it's perfect. Yeah, it's perfectly safe. Just take it however much you need. And then later on, people were kind of getting addicted to it. I'm not saying this is gonna happen with Kratom, but that would be my concern. In moderation, I think everything is fine. It's just that bodybuilders in moderation don't always speak the same language,
Nah. More is better. Always.
Yeah, Nubane is a chemical though.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the problem with Nubane was like people started using it, and then they used more of it, and the supply disappeared because they took the drug off the market, and then they're all addicted to opiates, and they're like, oh shit, I guess I'll do heroin. So they did heroin.
You don't want to do that.
Kratom isn't like that. It hits an opiate receptor, but it is not like, I've never even used any painkillers, but it's not like that. It's not that good.
You've never used a painkiller?
Oh God, maybe I took like a little oxy when I got my teeth pulled, but that's it. Yeah.
Holy shit.
I'm scared of them. I haven't needed them, fortunately, but like I don't want to dip my toes in there.
I would try some Nubane just to see what it's like.
Maybe a little more, a couple times a week.
It's a little bit, see what it's like,
Well, thanks for being honest.
Right. Yeah,
You should get into it,
I'm not like anti-drug by any means, but I just know myself well enough that like I don't do things in moderation usually. So like I'm not gonna even tempt myself with that kind of stuff.
When I get tattooed, sometimes I'll pop like it's called a Norco. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. And yeah. I don't see how people get addicted to it. It doesn't feel addictive. It feels nice, but not in a way that I'm like, I can't wait to do a Norco, But some people, I guess, everybody's different.
Yeah. All right, next question.
Enough about drugs there. I think I got a little too personal.
Don't do drugs.
Meanwhile, anyway, someone asked, who is one celebrity or creator that Stu wants to punch in the face? These are very stupid
questions directed towards me.
We can ask everyone. Who does everyone want to punch in the face?
I don't want to punch anybody in the face for legal reasons. I
want to know the answer.
For legal reasons, I am
take
not
the legality out
towards anybody.
Okay. Stu has a list.
No, I don't think I will.
I mean, punching in the face is pretty extreme. But what about just someone that irks you? You have to have someone that you're just irritated by.
I was just telling Baidi yesterday when we were doing our podcast, I'm trying to turn over a new leaf right now. Not throw out so much beef venom soup into the bodybuilding world. Yeah, beef soup. It's a little gentler, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just noticed I get a little on edge in prep, and I'm trying to control myself. So I'm not answering that question. I just don't want the stress of somebody getting mad at me right now.
Understandable.
Thank you very much.
Who do I not
Smart,
like?
smart.
Huh.
And I didn't even
I'm having-
mean someone in the fitness industry. I actually was meaning actors, like the question. But if you want to
Actors?
answer in the well, that's what the question was. That's what I was saying. Is there
Yeah.
someone who irks you as an actor? I wasn't asking you to name drop someone in the industry.
Celebrity or
an actor.
creator?
Amy Schumer. You
Yeah,
know
Even
who
with
Amy
her
Schumer is?
disease, even with her disease now, you're a horrible person, bro.
You
She has
gonna
a
punch- you gonna
disease
punch-
of being fat. Is a
Damn.
disease? Didn't know that.
Holy shit.
You're
She
doing so
does.
well,
She
Stu.
does. It's funny because she does have something that she just got diagnosed, is why she's gained a bunch of weight. So you're kind of an asshole, Stu. Good
What
job
is,
Damn.
what
avoiding
is
the
she
question.
diagnosed with? Get on a fucking treadmill. I'm sorry, it works for me.
It's a thyroid
What
issue, I
is
bet.
Yeah,
Stu-
if it's a thyroid issue, take some thyroid hormone. I'll send you some.
Stu just said that he was gonna turn a new leaf, and he's making fun of diseased, overweight
You know,
women.
Amy Schumer's not going to clap back at me. I'm pretty sure. So, and
Damn.
making fun of fat girls is always valid. So,
I can't think of I can't think of celebrities I don't like. I could think of regular people I don't like that I would punch in the face. But people right here in LA that I would punch in the face, but not they're not celebrities. I can't think of I don't know. I guess Greg Doucette is a little annoying, just his voice and his demeanor, but I don't think that's really him. I think that's like an actor at this point. So I don't want to
that's a
judge him.
character, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
He
don't
hates
know.
me.
It's everybody. If you knew who I was, you'd hate me too.
I can't.
Do a video on me, Greg. I could use some more followers. Come on, let's do this.
Has he
It
had
definitely helps. It definitely helps.
Has he had multiple videos on you, Sergio?
I don't watch YouTube for a long time now, so I don't think I think I'm irrelevant now. If you're doing a video on me, you're just really bored. I'm a nobody now. But back in the day, yeah. I thought with his fucked up voice, he would have at least been sticking up for other people with fucked up voices. We would have been on the same team, but I guess not.
I like your voice, Sergio. It's very unique.
Appreciate it. It's my
Bro.
Chicago accent.
We can pick you out of a crowd really easily. You know, that
Yeah.
that sound is very easy to find.
Yeah, you're right.
That sound.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
He's dropping his voice down.
Oh man.
This person
Yeah.
asking, do you think calves is being judged, and do you include them in your workout routine?
No and no.
No. I mean, for calves to take away from, for calves to be judged, they'll have to be really, really bad set of calves. It'll have to be really alarming. But anything short of that, I don't think so.
We got 3 black guys on the podcast right now. I mean, they do pretty good in the IFBB. Sergio, you got good calves, actually, right?
Excuse me. I was gonna say hello.
Okay.
I got some good
Okay.
calves.
Besides
Thank you.
Sergio,
And I'm Latino, not black. You racist.
That's true. It doesn't count.
It's like you don't believe
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't.
Whatever.
Whatever.
That's
Whatever
why
you
he
want
has-
to believe.
give me like a month, I'll be black too.
Yeah. Nathan, I mean,
But if you look-
Nathan had pretty good calves, though.
One good
No,
one.
No, he ain't
One
got
good
no.
one.
He don't got no calves.
I got one calf, bro.
What
A
happened to the
Philippine
other
calf.
one? Did you shove
Black-
it up
the black
Sergio's
team.
ass?
The black team.
Yeah, exactly. But if you look at De La Rosa, just to answer the question in a serious level, they talked about it. Tyler in his video, he talked about how De La Rosa looked from the back on the bottom half, and if you look at his hamstrings, he has to be also talking about his calves because the calves are big as fuck too. So I think when you are in a competition where it's close and your whole lower body is just stacked, you are getting judged on it. Now, are they on the piece of paper saying calves X amount of points? No, I don't think so. But I think from the
Yeah.
back, I think it does make a difference.
Does Hadi have calves? Not really, right? Maybe not.
Damn, that's a good question. I
That's the
guess you
thing,
just answered our question.
See,
If
the takeaway here
we
is
can't
none
even
of us
win-
really notice this shit. Like, we all know who has big arms, who has a big back. Who the fuck cares about calves? Like, case in point.
Damn
Yeah,
it.
good
Damn
point.
it, it's true.
You
Yeah,
sort
it's
of
not just
notice if
stuff.
someone has giant quads and then no calves, but
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
jarring. Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
I
can see
lost to Ian, and I never trained him again. So that's all I know. I used to do calves all the time, and then I lost that Arnold, and I was like, "What am I doing?" And Kuklo, me and Kuklo lost to Ian. We're looking at our calves like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah. Fuck it.
yeah, Kukla has some big calves too. Yeah. Next question. This one's midget and world record holder for strength, or world's tallest person but can still walk normal. And then they sent another message following up and said, but you can't be an NBA player. So if you're the tall one, obviously. So
Wait, world's tallest person, you got to be like 8 foot tall, bro.
yeah, I think it's
It's
8 foot
impractical.
something, like 8'6" or something probably. But you can still walk normal, but you can't be an NBA player. So this is a very in-depth question. Or midget and world record holder for strength.
I don't really care about this. Yeah, I don't really care about strength. If I was a rich midget, any day of the week, but
Would I have a
I mean,
would I have a
there's
fucking would I have an 8 foot person's cock or what? That's what I want to know.
good question.
If my
okay.
dick's
Wait.
massive, give me the tall person, right?
If you're 8 feet tall and you had like a regular sized dick, that would
That's not
that
good.
would look
That's
like a
not good.
very small dick. You know,
That's
remember
Yeah.
Rich
bro.
on that? The ratio, the dick to
Mm.
ball, you know, it's not gonna look good. So I
Anytime
think there's
That's
only
what I-
one tallest person in the world, but there's a lot of midgets out there, and they're all pretty strong. Because
They
how
are.
how high does a midget have to deadlift? Let's be honest, guys. Like,
not that high.
is that really that impressive? I mean, they're moving it like 2 inches.
It
So-
is if it's 900
Any-
pounds.
Yeah. That's,
Or
let-
1,000. Is he talking
who do
about the biggest lift ever? Because if it's the biggest deadlift ever, then it's. But wouldn't the bar bend? Like,
Yeah, they wouldn't even break it off the ground.
Damn. Who do you think? Okay, let's think of this. Who do you think is getting more ass? A strong midget or 8 foot tall guy? I don't think an 8 foot tall guy is gonna get no ass.
What? Of course you look at it like this, Baidi. Fuck. We spent like half an hour on our podcast yesterday arguing about how Baidi gets ass, basically.
No.
So-
That wasn't the argument. The argument
There's
is
some
about dating.
variation on that theme.
I don't get no ass. I don't get any ass. Let's make that clear. But yeah, I don't know, man. Anytime I've asked a girl, do you prefer like a really tall guy or like a short buff guy? They always say like a shorter buff guy, but they're also talking to a buff guy, so that could be
They're
skinny.
lying to you. They're lying.
Yeah,
but when you say a shorter buff guy versus, but we're talking extremes, like the world's tallest person or the world's
midget.
strongest midget. So yeah,
I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna have to
I'm gonna
go
go with
midget.
midget. I'm gonna go with yeah. I'm gonna go with midget because then I can beat Sergio Oliva on a bodybuilding show.
He went there.
No, I mean, yo, like nobody wants to be 8 foot tall. If you're a midget, I guess the only thing would be like your respect. Just carry like a piece with you. Just shoot a motherfucker if shit get crazy. You'll be
Bro,
okay.
but the gun are bigger than a midget.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we gotta hide it.
the gun is going to be as big as his leg, bro. Be like a whole fucking thigh holster for a Glock 19, you know?
but he's strong, man. He's strong.
Yeah, I was strong. I'm gonna have one of those man purses the rich guys be having, a little Gucci man purse, and just put it right there.
Covers up his whole torso. Looks like a backpack.
Oh man. Yeah, if you're 8 foot tall, boy, the bed, the apartment, everything has to be custom made. Can't buy no clothes. Can't even work out at a gym. Imagine trying to do a lat pull down if you're fucking 8 foot tall. It's not happening.
Yeah, you could
You
buy
know?
kids clothes. But you don't think about that. Like if you're a midget, you could buy kids clothes,
Yeah,
and they're
bro,
cheaper.
Your dick's gonna be tiny.
So you seen a lot of midget dicks? I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
It might be.
Guy who shot that little Turkish guy. You seen some more pictures?
Oh
Tiny,
yeah,
bro.
he's right. He's
You
right.
see?
I mean,
Fuck that. I'd rather have small clothes and just wafting my finger around in the street, just doing the helicopter and shit, wham. Tall guy, bro. Tall guy.
Now we have the visual. Awesome.
Everyone's on a helicopter.
yeah, I think I'm gonna have I'm gonna be a short guy. I'm gonna look good because the kids' clothes are cheap, so I'm gonna have all the flyers, kid clothes.
Bro, what midget looks good? Your bicep is next to your arm, to your hand. But let's be honest, bro. You can't. If you pull up to a bike, you're like this. Look, you're like this. How you gonna be? You have your knees cover your legs, so you have no legs, right? Anyway, yeah, and you have like all midgets have like weird shaped bellies and shit. You have a weird shaped belly. You're like this,
Oh
bro.
man.
And then you have
Xavier,
loads of memes and shit. Nah, bro, fuck that.
Xavier,
Oh,
this is
man.
why you keep losing. This is why you keep losing your YouTube, bro. You keep having Nathan on, and it gets your YouTube's gonna get canceled again.
I was gonna have a serious discussion. I'm like, do we need to cut this?
But one of my friends, he's not my friend, but he goes to one of my gyms, and he's a small person. Is that what they say?
But the question is,
You can't put it back in the bag now, man.
Yeah, the question is world's smallest person, not small person, world's smallest person. So you're
that the
like
question?
3 foot, bro.
No,
Yeah,
I think it's
world's
just
small.
midget. I think it's world tallest
Okay,
person.
midget.
I think it's
Midget.
just midget.
What costs the midget? What's a midget then? Under 5 foot, right? It's a midget.
No,
I think it's under, yeah. It's like under
Wait.
5, under 4 something, right?
isn't it though? Like if you're a midget,
I've
there's
seen
like because I've seen short people where they're like really short, but they're not meant to be classified as a midget. They're just real
What if
short.
you have no legs? If your torso to the top of your head is only
You're a midget.
3.5 feet, does that make you a midget because you're shorter than
Bro,
4 feet?
imagine me as a midget. I'm all torso anyway. I'd be fucked.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Nathan.
There's a midget at my gym, right? And he was like 5, maybe like 5'1", 5'2", which I think is kind of,
Bro, that was
kind of tall for.
That's Clarita's height, isn't it?
Come on, bro. Don't say that.
No, I'm
man.
being serious. Isn't Clarita 5'2"?
It is.
He's like 5'1", yeah.
5'1"? Yeah.
Yes, but Clarita had the right proportions. This guy, he had the big head with the short arms, like Nathan's talking
What
about.
the hell's wrong with having a big head?
No, but he got that default midget look. You gotta know what I'm talking about. Don't tell me you don't know.
Yeah, I know.
The box
Like,
head.
dragged him up, like made him a little bigger. Stretch him out in PowerPoint.
So on top of that, this guy he's Russian. So to top it off, this guy went and got like this surgery where they broke a bone and then put it somewhere else in his leg, and then he added like, bro, he came back. He's like 5'4" now, bro. He's 5'4", but he got a limp.
Crap.
He got a limp. So now
You got a crip walk.
Listen. Give him a man bag. Put him in the ghetto in Detroit. He wanted the boys just limping around, bro. Like, that's swagger.
So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna choose the midget, and then I'm gonna get the surgery, and I'm gonna be like 5'4".
Cheating, bro. That's cheating. That's cheating the question. That's cheating. You're bending the rules now. You're bending the rules.
I don't want to be 8 foot tall, man. I think I'd rather be 5 foot. I think I'd rather be 5 foot.
5 foot, a midget.
If you're 8 feet tall, like you could have an entire bloodline of super tall motherfuckers, and they could all play basketball, and they could all support you in your old age. Since that's the like one rule, you can't play basketball. Are there any other cool sports? You could kill it in football. You'd be a little fragile. Like who's getting up there? Like all the corners are like 5'9".
Australian rules football. Australian rules football. You've got a ruckman. They're always
okay. So like,
hell.
But the real sport, you could catch a lot of passes.
Yeah,
The
but
real
they
sport.
look.
The real sport.
Well, you say
Fuck
cage
outta here.
passes, I say Mark Footy. You know, makes no
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Fine.
They look fucked up though. But have you seen that high school kid that's like 7, 8? He walking around all fucking weird and shit. Like,
Looks like a
yeah,
praying
this shit
mantis. Yeah.
yeah, that shit looks like, I don't know, man. I don't think that's gonna be a good life. But
No,
I
but they
mean,
said we said you can walk normal. You can walk
Yeah.
yeah,
normal.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
who said you had to be a skinny 8 feet tall? You know, you could be like a jacked 8 foot tall dude.
There's no way you're not getting jacked at 8 foot tall.
You die at 27 if you're 8'6" and jacked.
I'm here for
Those
a
guys
good time
die.
and a long time.
Mhm.
Those guys die young.
Like I said,
True.
you can't do lap pull downs, bro. You're gonna have to sit on the floor like Janicki and do lap pull
grab
downs.
a telephone pole and do pull-ups. I don't care. Reach
I
anything.
don't know, man. I think I'm gonna have to go midget, bro. I'm gonna have all the children Jordans and shit for like $20.
It looks super fly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I might have to go midget, man. Yo, just know if you see me at the midget, I got my piece on me. Don't fuck with me. I'm not playing those kind of games. I'm not playing those games.
Well, thank you to whoever asked this question, because Jesus, we just spent 45 minutes on this question.
That was a pretty good one, actually. Best question.
No,
of the
right,
show.
yeah.
Thank
Yeah, I thought
you.
it was
That was-
terrible at first, but it worked all right. I just love how there's like, I don't know if you guys can see
I
it,
thought it was horrible,
just-
but I still read it.
but there's like one comment, and I just love how just like the follow up. But you can't be an NBA player. It's just like a completely separate thing. I'll see if there's any more on here.
Well,
I'm gonna get jealous though. If I'm a midget and I see Nathan 8 foot tall, I'm gonna get a little jealous. You know?
Helicopter, he's helicoptering his dick around.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I'm like,
Think about
Yeah,
it.
smack you in the face.
My bullet just smacking you on the head, just smacking you. Like, hey, little boy. Hey, little boy.
yeah, you see?
my God.
And then like when you think about it, like Nathan's gonna get girls regardless because he got the charisma. It don't matter if he's 8 foot tall. He got the charisma. He got the, you know.
It's like the Hezbollah thing.
Um,
He'd be like a Hezbollah
Huh?
variation.
yeah.
I think that's
Oh,
the life you
man.
want to live. I think you want to be I think I'd want to be the midget, to be honest.
Yeah, get
Try
rich
to
people
live
get
some
money.
sort of
Rich guys get money because they gotta get something. You know, they gotta make it somehow. You know, they make money.
Good point.
But there's actually a guy in Perth where I used to live, and he's a bodybuilder. Like he legit competes, and he's actually, for like a guy that is a midget, he's got a pretty proportionate physique overall. But he does like male stripping and stuff like that, and does like hens nights all the time. I think he makes
Oh.
decent money. I'm like, and he just owns it.
Okay.
He's just like, yep, that's what I do. And he's got like little cop outfits on and stuff. I'm just like, yeah, I like it.
Little cop outfits.
Oh, well, we're not big ones. I mean,
From the kids section.
Just go to the
I guess.
Halloween costumes.
they'd be
Hey,
cheaper.
man.
I've seen those adult ones. They're pricey, man.
Man, he could probably
Look
go
at
trick
these-
or treating in that shit and get the
Get some
free candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Look
think
at
makes
these
more
girls.
stripping.
Look
I
at
mean,
these,
they make
like-
money.
Bro, if you look at these girls, it's a lot of midget girls on OnlyFans making a shit. I know you guys see them online. They're always on the fucking Instagram feed, and they're making a shit ton of money.
They're
Because
on
it's
your
freaky.
Instagram feed.
You'll watch it once, waiting for the porn, just laugh. And it's like, I wonder if my dick come out of my mouth. You're just laughing like, I wonder, can you feel it in her belly? Can you feel it?
There was one time where I actually had a chance to get with like a midget, and I thought
You
about it
said
hard,
no?
but I couldn't do it, bro. It just
You're
I
weak,
couldn't
bro.
get
You're
my.
You're weak. You're weak, man. Weak.
It didn't feel right, man. I was like, you know what? It might be too far. This might be a little too far for me. But low key, I kind of want to try it. But it got to be the right. It got to be the right circumstance.
Thailand, bro.
What-
Be good.
What is it? What's the right circumstance, baby?
It got to be the right type of midget, the right relationship we got going on. You know, the right time in my life. Everything has to line up perfectly, you know.
Baidi the
There you
Gigolo.
35, you're
This
just like,
needs to be
now
his
feels
own,
right.
his own segment, bro. This question has to be his own segment because you'll get cancelled, I think.
Yeah.
You're right, dude.
I'm really not sure what to do about
bodybuilding
this one.
podcast.
Yeah, I'm really unsure if that will be in the show, but we'll talk about it. I could probably yeah, we'll say. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you for being on this episode of Bodybuilding University. I encourage everyone go. Nathan, I saw you doing actually a bunch of content around the Arnold UK on your YouTube channel and stuff. So I encourage everyone to go jump over.
Bro, I got it out there first. I beat your ass, didn't I? Beat your ass, getting the commentary out there straight away. Boom. I'm on it. Game time, baby. I beat you, that Nick guy. Beat him in his bedroom tricks. Boom, I was there. You know.
Yeah. I was live the whole time, but yeah, you did beat me, I think, with a post-show thing as well. But no, you did awesome content, man. So go follow all these guys on my YouTubes and Instagram accounts. The links are in the description below. Sergio, hope to see you on stage soon this year, my man. I was hoping for Spain because I knew that Spain show was on, but hope to see you soon. Do you want to shout
out? Shout out to JP, new sponsor. Appreciate it. They didn't have any real bodybuilders on the line, so they had to pick me up. You know.
Yeah, they felt lonely. You know. They said, oh yeah, Nathan's gonna go to Spain, win the check, so we just had to put some pocket money in Sergio's pocket, you know, because Nathan's just taking checks for fun. So, you know, I was hoping to see him in Spain, but you know, times are hard for Sergio, ankle and all that stuff, you know. But it is what it is, I guess. It's any excuse just to stay in bed and not train.
I'm on my period. I'm just drinking cranberry juice. All right, leave me alone.
Keep moves you two as well. I like it. But Nathan, do you want to shout out anything? Shout out anyone? Anything like that?
No, guys, just go over to my website, Instagram, my YouTube. Obviously, more content out there now on a regular basis. More food challenges, more day-to-day challenges, and just raw Nathan De Asha, you know, non-edited, just how it is. That's why I haven't got many followers. So please like, subscribe, tell a friend, and see you soon.
Ooh, good one, Nathan. Good touch.
He's practiced that.
Yeah,
he's got it down. Baidi, man, give the podcast and everything a shout out.
I want to shout out all the midgets that's getting money out here and getting ass.
I'm so nervous about this episode, man. I had that scare of YouTube last week. It's a small channel. I think I'll be able to get it out.
Shout out to the guy that Fit Nation podcast. We got a crew of like random like ghetto guys and bodybuilders and shit. But it's all fun and games. We argue, we talk shit, and it's pretty fun. Go check it out if you care to, and if not, who cares?
Except for that Stu guy, he fucking sucks on there.
And Stu, man, do you want to shout out any sponsors, anything like that?
No. Let's wrap this shit up. I don't have anything rehearsed like Nathan does, so I gotta go eat.
All right, my man. Thank you guys so much for doing this. Much appreciated. For myself, Xavier Wills, Stuart Sutherland, Beef Stew, Sergio Oliva Jr., Baidi Xavier, and Nathan De Asha. For all of us at Bodybuilding University, we are out. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Bodybuilding University, and if you did, give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button, and also subscribe and click the notification bell button. And that's particularly important because this is on a new channel compared to the original desktop bodybuilding channel. Now, both channels will still be running. The original channel will have more bodybuilding news, and this one will have the podcast and interviews. So make sure you subscribe, and if you're not subscribed to the original desktop bodybuilding channel, head over there and subscribe to that as well. Anyway, guys, that's it for this one. For all the guys at Bodybuilding University and myself, Xavier Wills, we are out.